If you're an empath that feels everything, you may be more likely to experience high-functioning depression. And because I know you are so tired, I'm going to give you just 4 simple ways to begin your recovery and find your joy again. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you know when a new episode drops that will help you on your road to recovery from emotional trauma and narcissistic abuse. I want to talk about empaths and high-functioning depression because right now, with all this wonky energy and uncertainty in the world, most people like you, especially teens, are suffering from a lot more social anxiety, depression, and debilitating pain. And we really need to dispel the stigmas associated with all levels of depression because there's still so much shame and judgment around it that millions of people are suffering in silence or being misdiagnosed or getting lost in the mental health system. In the DSM, high-functioning depression, it's called dysthymia or persistent depressive disorder. It's a low-grade depression that just never lifts and it goes on for a prolonged period of time. Symptoms include insomnia or wanting to sleep to escape the feeling of despair and hopelessness that creeps into every area of life and relationships you just can't get out from underneath. Having no appetite or pleasure in food or being hungry all the time, eating to numb out is another symptom. I make these videos here to support you in exploring all the possibilities available to you and to inform you to what it takes to heal from narcissistic abuse and emotional trauma so that you can have a healthy body, a quiet mind, and live a fulfilled life unapologetically being you. I want to empower you to be your own medicine and offer you up self-care strategies with a very integrative, functional, spiritual, and most importantly, a practical approach. And I do that by combining the ancient wisdom of Chinese medicine, body talk, the Tao, energy medicine, attachment theory, somatic release, lifestyle changes, diet, and neuroscience. When I ask my new clients, many who have successful careers, great partners, and children, what brought them to my clinic, they often say things like, I don't know who I am anymore. I feel dead inside. I've lost my joy and I'm just so tired. I'm afraid that if I slow down, I'll never get up again. They have such high standards on how they think they need to be perfect in all their roles. And when we dig deeper into their childhoods, there is often a history of emotional neglect where their needs were not met, where the family dynamic was so dysfunctional that there was no safety to be happy-go-lucky as a child, or if there was a narcissistic parent who constantly criticized, belittled, and demeaned them, or if you had a mother who had her own unresolved trauma patterns. Remember, we live what we learn. So if she was shut down and always too busy to engage with you, your coping strategies may have been to become a good girl, a perfectionist, a people pleaser, to be seen and not heard, and to not be lazy when you actually needed some rest. And if you are an adult child of an alcoholic parent and developed a disorganized or anxious attachment style because the only way to survive it was to walk on eggshells and stay out of the way of a raging parent, if your narcissistic parent blew hot and cold, love bombed you one minute and discarded you the next, if you never knew when you came home from school what state you would find them or the house in, or if there would even be food in the house, you would have had to grow yourself up and become the parentified child to never ask for what you wanted or needed. And if you want to know more about adverse childhood experiences, be sure to watch the video What Happened to My Childhood and take the ACE test to see how high your ACEs are so that you can start healing from trauma right away. When you take the ACE test, you will receive a resilience workbook to support you in regaining your sense of self and your confidence again. Here are the 9 top signs that you may be suffering from high-functioning depression. Number 1 is hermit mode. You used to love going out and playing with your friends. You were happy-go-lucky and funny, and now you've gone from enjoying company to being a hermit. You make excuses not to go out and engage socially because just the thought of having to decide what to wear exhausts you. You feel heavy, like you're wading through treacle, and it physically hurts. Number 2, you're constantly on edge, hypervigilant all the time, and you find it hard to settle down or relax. Unless you're able to distract yourself with busyness, you feel snappy and irritable. And you feel guilty when you snap at your kids or your partner, but everything just gets on your nerves and sets you off, and it's just not you. Number 3 is constant fatigue. Even when you get a good night's interrupted sleep, for a change, you wake up feeling sluggish and bloated and tired. And the thought of just getting out of bed and facing another day feels like you're stuck in a Groundhog Day. You just want the earth to swallow you up and put you out of your misery. If you have recurring thoughts of suicide, please get immediate help. It's not uncommon to want out, and isolating yourself is the worst thing that you can do. So please talk to someone who won't dismiss you as attention-seeking or worse. Number 4 is you just can't think straight. Brain fog has set in. You struggle to focus or concentrate for more than a hot second, and unless you write a note to yourself, you find yourself getting to the store or another room or opening the fridge, and you can't remember what you were doing or what you were looking for. Or maybe you start to say something and then you forget mid-sentence what you wanted to say, or you can't find the word you're looking for. Number 5, you have developed some unhealthy coping patterns, and that really concerns you. For some, it may be using chocolate or sugar or coffee to get you going in the morning or numb you out, but it never lasts very long. So you have to keep having more, and maybe that one glass of wine has become a bottle or two just to knock yourself out because you're wired and tired and sick of tossing and turning all night long. Pick your ism. Working all the time, binging on Netflix till the sun comes up, or exercising too much just to feel something or help you go to sleep. Number 6 is constant rumination. You can't stay present to enjoy the moment because you're constantly worrying about the past or the future. You're replaying all your regrets or what might have been, like that movie Sliding Doors, but it never ends. You're worrying about the future and feeling like you have no control over your life, which makes you feel like a failure, like there's something wrong with you. And the whole cycle is just exhausting because you just don't know what to do or how to fight as hard for yourself as you do for others. And in true empath's distress, maybe like me at the height of my depression, I would then start worrying about the state of the planet and the polar bears starving because of global warming. And I couldn't get the horrific images of dolphins being slaughtered in Taiji or the rhinos and elephants being poached out of my head. And it just became too much for me to bear. Number 7, you can't remember when you last felt deeply happy. You can't find any joy, even in the simplest things. And if you feel you're not worthy, that you don't deserve to feel good about your accomplishments or how you look, if you don't know what you want, you may have high-functioning depression. Number 8, when someone asks you how you are, you say, "I'm fine," when actually you're falling apart inside. And because on the outside you look fine, people believe you. And if you don't want to be a burden or worry your loved ones or having to rely on someone else or asking for help is impossible for you, so you feel more alone than ever, you may have high-functioning depression. Number 9, you self-abandon. You've felt this way for so long that you just believe that it's how you're wired and that it's your lot in life, that you're being selfish and have nothing to complain about. You compare your insides to someone else's outsides and you beat yourself up because compared to others who are in a worse situation, you really have no right to complain about your entitled first world problems. I know. It's a lot to take in, and I'm truly, truly sorry if you have ever been made wrong for feeling this way. I hope you find some relief in knowing that high-functioning depression doesn't have to be a life sentence. With the right support and consistent daily steps, your nervous system can build its capacity to hold more space for connection when you're feeling challenged, and a full range of feelings and emotions like joy and love and happiness. It's not easy, but it is possible. Also, please consult your doctor and rule out any possible issues like hypothyroidism, low thyroid levels, because it can look very similar to dysthymia. Depression may or may not directly occur depending on the person, but issues like ongoing fatigue and poor concentration can cause depressive symptoms due to that alone. So, there you have it, 9 signs that you may have high-functioning depression. Join me in the next episode where I will be giving you some simple practices to lift you out of the blues and calm your anxious nerves. Now it's your turn. Let me know in the comments if you found this video helpful and which of the signs you said yes to. Follow your body's natural impulse to move or laugh or rest or cry. And remember, inch by inch is a cinch, yard by yard is hard. You've got this.